What up, everybody? It's your boy Jay here, and I am back once again, fresh off of vacation, and we are back for a brand new episode of Comic Chaser, my weekly comic review video series. And we are at episode 30. We've made it to 30 episode, you guys. Once again, thank you for all the support. It's been fun coming back to comic reviews, and I've been having a blast. Uh, we have a pretty decent sized stack, not too massive, but also not just a quick go through. Uh, I did catch up on the comics I missed over the 2 weeks that I'm gone, but I'm not gonna cover everything that I missed because that's a lot of books. But I will say to everybody that was hating and like, oh man, all new Venom is bad. All new Venom is bad. I don't know why you're reading it, Jay. I don't know why you're reading it. Guess what, y'all? She broke up with Paul in All New Venom. So I feel vindicated. I knew I could trust Al Ewing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. I'm not holding my breath for, MJ and Peter. I've kind of given up on 616 MJ and Peter. That they're just going to constantly do that dance to try and draw on readers. So I'm not going to, hold my breath. If it happens, cool. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. But, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, now he's totally gonna get back with MJ. I'm not delusional. I've done this song and dance before. I've read comics for at least 20 years now, so we know how this goes. But I will say, All New Venom continues to be great. I'm gonna continue to sing its praises since this happens to be a book that is pretty divisive for people for some reason. But yeah. Other thing I want to point out is I got these new custom-made comic short boxes to store my comics in because I was running out of space to put my back issues, my single issues. So I went on Etsy and I found this one particular Etsy shop, Just Chad, and they make these awesome comic book short boxes. They're already set up over on my counter on the other side of the room, so I'm not gonna physically bring them up because that just takes too much effort. But I will throw a picture somewhere up here so you can see them. I have a Robin themed one for my DC books and a Savage Land Rogue themed one for my Marvel books, and that also messed with my camera. Great, but it's whatever. So yeah, they look really good. And I'm definitely gonna get others as these get filled up. These hold about 150 to 200 comics, so I won't have to get another one for a bit. But I am getting a Godzilla themed one for my indie books. That's where my Godzilla books are gonna be going because I'm picking up all the stuff for the Godzilla Kaisei era, and I'm also putting my Marvel vs. Godzilla stuff in there as well. But yeah. Just wanted to show those off. I will leave the Etsy shop as well as Chad's Instagram linked in the description down below as well if you want to check it out. So feel free. Always down to support other creators out there. And, he makes good quality work. So, of course, I wanted to support. So, as per usual with these reviews, if you're new here, we do these countdown style, going from the top of my pile, working our way down all the way to the pick of the week at the very end. What comic did I think was the best comic I read this week? Now, just because you're at the top of the pile does not mean you are the worst book. If you're in my pile at all, that means I enjoyed it. Because if I don't enjoy a book, I'm just going to drop it. Because comics are expensive these days. So, if you made it in, I enjoyed the book. And as per usual, with all these reviews, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't read any of these comics, be sure to pick these up yourself. I highly recommend them. And yeah, don't forget to do all the usual YouTube things. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos or reviews or any of the other new content we have coming up on the Channel Chasers podcast channel. New episodes of the podcast and stuff like that. And we also have other new video ideas that we're going to be testing out over time. So stay tuned. So first things first, the first book we're going to cover is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursions, issue number 3, written by, I believe it's Ziegler and Camp. This is the Ultimate X-Men issue. And look, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand the point of this series. I really don't. I mean, I get it. The Ultimate Universe is gonna be ending soon. It feels like, and they pretty much confirmed that it's ending soon, which sucks because I love the new Ultimate Universe. I think it's really awesome. But like, I don't know where this takes place. I don't know what relevance this has to the overall story of the Ultimate Universe. Like, I get it. Miles is trying to find his sister who got lost by accidentally, like, triggering the teleportation on the Maker's card that he gave to Miles a while back. But, like, it just feels weird. And as someone who loves Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men, I don't know, there's just something off about their voices, May and Nico. Again, I don't know where this takes place. Obviously, Hisako's not there because Hisako isn't with them at the time because she's currently, off to see Tsubasa and I guess deal with Kageyama and stuff. This also is fresh in my head because I had recently read Ultimate X-Men issue 18, like prior to reading this, because I was like, maybe this connects. Doesn't connect at all. So I was like, well, okay, I guess we get to see that Billy is like, has a little sweet connection with the Ultimate Silver Samurai. Okay, I guess, and now she's being taken by the like Eurasian Empire, so Magik, Colossus, and Omega Red. Okay, so does that mean Ultimate Wolverine is gonna show up in the next issue? But wait, is he gonna still be the Winter Soldier during that issue, or is it gonna be Wolverine as Wolverine is currently in Ultimate Wolverine? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know where this is supposed to take place, what this connects to, how this is relevant. It's still fun overall. I like seeing Miles interact with them, and Miles, you know, getting homesick and remembering his original universe is a cool concept. But like, where does this all connect? Like, at least with the Absolute Universe, not to like keep comparing from across the aisle, but at least the Absolute Universe, we can see, okay, this connects to this because of this, and they're mentioning these things, so I get where this like all lines up. I don't know where this lines up at. Like, it confuses the hell out of me as a fan of both characters, both sets of characters. But it is what it is. Still a fun book though. Another book that I am really enjoying so far, like continuing to enjoy, is Magik. This is issue number 8 by Ashley Allen with art by Horak. Really like this. This is Magik continuing to try and free her friend Cal from the control of the demon Liminal. And so they're trying to find this artifact that could possibly be able to set Cal's free from Liminal's control. Liminal is, teasing and taunting Magik, but also being like slightly helpful to try and gain Magik's trust. Her and Danny do finally stop their bickering and become friends again and like sync back up, and that's really sweet and cute. As a New Mutants fan, I hate to see the girls fighting, so that was cool that they patched up their friendship. And clearly the society, which is the like supernatural hunters guild that Danny is a part of, is corrupt because they sent Magik, Danny, and Liminal after some people that had information on the society, and so like clearly this was like a suicide mission, and they expected them to not make it, but they did end up making it, and so they get ambushed by other society members, and now they're getting jumped. Overall, really fun. I do wish we could see more of like, Magik gained control of Darkchild at the end of the previous arc, so I would like to see more of this like, completely harmonious Magik Darkchild relationship that we set up at the end. Maybe it's not a serious fight, so we haven't seen her go Darkchild yet. But like, I want to see more of that. That was cool. Like we built up to that, and we haven't really seen much of it, happen. Maybe I'm used to anime where like when you unlock a new transformation, that's like the first thing you do every fight from then on is spam that transformation. You know what I mean? But still, I'm enjoying this Magic series. I'm having a blast, especially because there are a lot of throwbacks to classic New Mutant stuff as well, and I really enjoyed reading those books when I was younger. So, really enjoyed it. Continuing to have fun with these X-Men solo series. Magic continues to be a blast. All right, now we get to X-Men proper, and this is X-Men issue number 20. And so this basically, this has nothing to do with the Age of Revelation. The Age of Revelation tie-in happened last time, and kind of was the precursor to set that event up, but that won't be happening for a couple months. So this is actually more of a continuation that directly follows up the events of the Hellfire Visual, which I don't know if I covered the Hellfire Visual. I might have in a previous video, but in case I didn't and you didn't read it because it was a $6 book, totally understand. Or maybe it was like an $8 book. I know it was an expensive book, but it was one of those like way more pages, bang for your buck type of books. But if you didn't read it, one of the major like through lines for mainline additiveless X-Men was that at the end of the Vigil 3K, the genetic terrorist group that has been hounding the X-Men over the past couple arcs, basically made their presence known, during the live concert, and they basically gave their whole manifesto about how they're gonna turn humans into mutants and get rid of the human population like on Earth by turning everyone into mutants, kind of like a whole syndrome thing. When everyone's a mutant, no one will be kind of deal. And so, the O&E agent dude, gets into a fight with Cyclops for lying to him about it and not letting him know about 3K, and also not letting him know that like Ben and Jen have joined their ranks. Ben, Lou, and Jen. I don't remember her last name, but like the chick who can basically morph different parts of her body to accommodate like animal parts. Like currently she has like talons and wings and stuff. She's got a little thing going on with Beast, which is pretty cute. But Beast is being melancholy about it because the leader of 3K's X-Men team basically approached him with an invitation because he's like, hey Beast, we're familiar with your work. We were paying attention during the Cocoa era. We saw how fucked up your other self, from the Cocoa era was, doing all this shit with like invading a country and taking it over and like hypnotizing and mind controlling a bunch of people. That's good shit. You got what it takes to be part of 3K, man. If you ever get bored with these lame-o X-Men, door's always open. And so Beast is just like, wow, I was that bad for this new bunch of terrorists to be like, hey man, you've got what it takes to be one of us. Like, so Beast is of course torn up about it, and so he kind of does what Beast does and mopes around and pushes Jen away, which Jen kind of being on her own might put her on a bit of a self-destructive path, as teased at the end there, because we will be dealing with the upstarts in the next issue, so we'll see how that goes. Overall, this is pretty solid. We also get to see kind of Heidi fully confessing to Psylocke that she is dating that one guy from the Uncanny X-Men team. I don't read Uncanny, so I don't know that guy's name. But we saw that in the Hellfire Vigil, so they got a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet thing going on. She's dating somebody from the opposing side, so interesting stuff. Classic X-Men drama. But overall, solid issue. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see more. I'm glad X-Men is bi-weekly because like it just keeps me fed, as a fan. Now, if you'd excuse me, I dropped the other issue under my desk, so I will just grab that real quick. That way I don't mess up the countdown order. It was right here. Hold on. Where is it? There it goes. Not even gonna cut it out. Yep, here we go. We have. Hold on. Is this one next, or is it the other one? 1 second. Grab this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was okay. I know the order now. 1 second. Yeah. So next up we have Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck, issue number 1, written by Jason Aaron with art by Muhammad Asir, which I think is the same team that did Conan, that like really acclaimed recent Conan series. What can I say? I really like the Uncle Scrooge comics. I went down this rabbit hole with the Uncle Scrooge books a while back. I believe it was the YouTube channel Matt. It was just Matt with like a bunch of T's. He covers a lot of comic book related topics and stuff like that, and he did a video on the Duck comics, in particular Carl Barks, Don Rosa, all the famous Duck artists, and like he even talked about how Carl Barks's Uncle Scrooge comics actually was a big inspiration to Osamu Tezuka, who is the father of modern manga. So that was pretty interesting. And so I got really into the like history of the Uncle Scrooge comics. I checked out a lot of the Uncle Scrooge comics, like looked at scans and things like that, because a lot of the ones that I wanted to check out were out of print. But yeah, it's super cool. And so when I like saw the solicits for this, I was like, I gotta check this out. Plus, I'm a huge fan of the DuckTales cartoons, both like DuckTales, the original from the 80s and like early 90s, and the 2017 DuckTales as well. 27 DuckTales is freaking great, so good. But yeah, this is written by Jason Aaron, art by Muhammad Asir, and this is basically a bunch of aliens invade Earth and take it over, and these aliens are obsessed with money and treasures, and they have a like coin-powered robot army. And so, of course, the thing that they're looking for the most is the vast fortune of one Scrooge McDuck. But Scrooge, being who he is, has that money well hidden. And so now the aliens are trying to probe Scrooge's memories to try and find where he hid the fortune. And so basically it looks like we're gonna be taking a journey through Uncle Scrooge's history to try and find his fortune, and eventually he'll be broken out. Meanwhile, on the outside, the boys, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, as well as Donald, are leading a rebellion against the aliens, trying to fight back. So it's all really cool. Great action. Love the art. I think Aaron has a great kind of grasp on the voice I kind of have in my head for Uncle Scrooge, which honestly is now the David Tennant voice because of DuckTales 2017. But really enjoy it. He's the smartest of the smarties and the toughest of the toughies. Love good old Uncle Scrooge. This is a solid book. This is really fun. Like, this feels like a special like movie quality episode of DuckTales. I would totally recommend this if you are a fan of the DuckTales series, the Duckburg, Uncle Scrooge characters, or you just like good adventure. And this is actually a really good comic you could show to your kids if you have kids, and I think they would enjoy it. But honestly, anybody of any age, if you enjoy Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge comics, I think would get a good kick out of this. This is a nice, very classic adventure book. Had a good time with it. All right, next up we have Fantastic Four issue number 2, written by Ryan North, art by Humberto Ramos, and this this book is awesome. So this is part 2 of their like Lost in Time, or what is it called? It does not actually say what the name of the arc is on the front, but this is part 2 of their like Lost in Time story that we started this current run with, and basically we see kind of like the family, in particular Reed and Sue, kind of go to extreme lengths to try and help each other, and like get each other like help the entire family like return home. Like Reed gives everything he's got in order to like point Sue in the right direction to the Forever Stone, to be able to get her to help them to travel back. And I like how they explain that, like, the mechanism is meant to rescue everybody. So like everyone has to chip in. It's all as a unit. We are a family. We work together. It's all or nothing with the four, and that's great. Now, the one thing I was confused about is like, how are they fighting Doom if Doom is currently still Emperor? There's no way they're gonna be able to beat Doom while One World Under Doom is still going on. Turns out Doom basically is pulling a ReZero, to use an anime reference. He basically is using like temporal magic to create these like save states, and he does it so that like he will reset time, but he's able to keep his memories to from after they attacked him. So like each time they try and beat him, even if they manage to like do what the Fantastic Four does and like outsmart Doom and like subdue his plans, like he can just reset and be like, okay, so that's how they did it this time, so I'll counter that and I'll counter that. So they're kind of just stuck in a continuous time loop if they keep trying to go after Doom. So hopefully once One World Under Doom wraps up, the four will be back to business as usual. I still enjoyed it because it was a nice showcase of the connection, like within the family, in particular, like the strength of Reed and Sue's relationship, how well they know each other. It's very sweet. Loved it. It's very reminiscent of the vibes you get from the current MCU Fantastic Four movie, which of course I'm sure was purposeful. Uh, but of course it's just intrinsic to the FF as a whole. And I will say, since I wasn't here to be able to review One World Under Doom issue number 6, I don't know how to feel about it, because what Doom did feels a little out of character for me, because Doom is willing to go pretty far for his own success, but Doom genuinely cares about his people. In Latveria, Doom is beloved. So it feels weird to me that Doom was willing to sacrifice innocent civilians. Now, like, if these were actually like criminals and people in jail or whatever, I could see Doom being willing to do that. But like, there were little kids in those tubes, and I don't think Doom is that kind of person. So that's just feels out of character to me. I want them to be able to explain it. It just doesn't feel right. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, again, I haven't been able to cover a lot of the big events that have happened in the last couple weeks. So if you have thoughts on One World Under Doom, feel free to put those in the comments as well. But yeah, overall, enjoyed this issue of Fantastic Four a lot. Next up, we have Ultimates issue number 15. So this basically gives us lore about the Iron Fist, and more specifically Shang-Chi, and basically them trying to find the Iron Fist, or the latest reincarnation of Shang-Chi, who has become this kind of like messianic figure among the heavenly cities. And they actually bring Danny Rand along, which makes a lot of sense because Danny Rand is the 616 Iron Fist, or was the 616 Iron Fist until the young Swordsmaster dude took over. That's in Marvel Rivals right now. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I really like the lore. Deep lore is really cool. I love what Dennis Camp does in here to build out the world of the Ultimate Universe and all the interesting new facets and different changes, which is why it sucks that this universe is ending because there are so many cool concepts that we won't really get to play with too much. But I've already said my piece about it, so I'm not gonna go too ranty into it. But I did really like this. I am interested to see what role Danny is going to play. Will Danny get the power of the Iron Fist in this, or is he just destined to help? Because I mean, he has this kind of like natural pull to like being here, very similar to like how Peter described it in with him and the Spider and Ultimate Spider-Man, different things like that, and how other heroes who've gotten those like you know origin boxes have kind of described things. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. I did also really like the introduction of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in the previous issue of Ultimates. I want to see them incorporated onto the team because they are also classic Avengers as well. So very curious to see where it goes. But overall, Ultimate issue number 15, really solid stuff. Now, what was my pick of the week this week? It was none other than Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, which seems like the culmination of the entire Benjamin Percy Predator versus universe, or the Predator versus verse, because holy shit does it go crazy. And I will say, this is a direct sequel to Spider-Man versus Predator, and of course it connects to all the other Predator versus series as well, so like Predator versus Wolverine, Predator versus Black Panther, those connect as well. Because we see Vibranium involved in this. We do see a Predator X, who was captured and experimented on at the end of Predator versus Wolverine. So, it's all connected. So, if you have been paying attention to Benjamin Percy's Predator versus miniseries, you'll definitely want to pick this up because, man, Percy wastes no time here. I know I complained when I talked about Predator versus Spider-Man that like Spider-Man didn't start fighting Predators and Predators didn't start fighting Spider-Man until like issue 3, maybe the end of issue 2. But like this wastes no time. The Predators go crazy. The opening scene of this book is like Predators decimating the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they are completely wiped off the table. And as you know, since Kraven defeated Skinner, he was marked with honor and made, kind of one of their own. And so he helps lead the Predator King and the rest of the Yautja, like, on a mission and grand hunt of Earth. And so, he basically Tower of Babel's it and explains kind of how to hunt down all the biggest threats on Earth, mainly, all the big superheroes, but he does specifically request that Spider-Man be the one trophy reserved for him. So, classic Kraven. And first things first, they take out the FF. And boy, was it efficient. Like, again, they were caught off guard. They were separated. It makes a lot of sense. I did not know Vibranium could do that to Mr. Fantastic, though. That caught me off guard. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that was possible. Fuck. This was intense, insane, and I cannot wait to see what happens through the rest of this. Holy shit, this book was good. This is my pick of the week for sure. You guys, if you like Predator, you and you enjoyed any of the previous Predator versus Marvel characters books and miniseries that Percy has put out, you need to pick this up. This is essential, man. This is so fucking good. He fucking killed it. Pun intended. This is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for more. This rightfully so deserves my pick of the week. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of Comic Chasers. It feels good to be back, you guys. I'm glad to be back. Let me know what you guys thought about all these comics in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to leave this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any brand new content coming from the Channel Chasers podcast, as well as new episodes of Comic Chasers and so much more. So until then, this has been Jay with Comic Chaser. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.